Gandhi's role in South Africa and his fight against apartheid. Mahatma Gandhi's political and social activism began in South Africa, where he spent 21 years, 1893 to 1914, shaping his philosophy of Satyagraha, non-violent resistance. His experiences there played a crucial role in his development as a leader, and in his later struggles for Indian independence. 1. Gandhi's arrival in South Africa, 1893. In 1893, Gandhi, a young lawyer, went to Natal, South Africa, to work for an Indian merchant, Dada Abdullah. His real political awakening happened when he was thrown out of a first-class train compartment in Pietermaritzburg, despite holding a valid ticket. This incident marked the beginning of his fight against racial discrimination. 2. Discrimination against Indians in South Africa. During this period, South Africa was under British and Dutch colonial rule, and the Indian community, mostly traders and laborers, faced severe racial discrimination, similar to what black South Africans later suffered under apartheid. Poll tax, a high tax imposed on indentured Indian laborers. Pass laws. Indians were required to carry special permits, passes, to move around. Voting rights restrictions. Indians were denied the right to vote in Natal. Marriage laws. Non-Christian marriages, especially Hindu and Muslim, were not legally recognized. 3. Gandhi's fight against discrimination. A formation of Natal Indian Congress, 1894. Gandhi founded the Natal Indian Congress, NIC, to unite the Indian community and fight discriminatory laws. B. Petitioning the British government. He launched mass petitions and letters to the British authorities to oppose discriminatory laws, hoping that the British sense of justice would help Indians. C. Resistance against the Asiatic Registration Act, 1906. The South African government introduced the Asiatic Registration Act, forcing all Indians to register and carry identity passes. Gandhi led protests, strikes, and non-violent resistance, Satyagraha, against the law. Many Indians, including Gandhi himself, were jailed for defying the law. D. The Tolstoy Farm, 1910. To support Satyagrahis and their families, Gandhi set up Tolstoy Farm, a self-sustaining community near Johannesburg. E. Protest against the £3 tax on Indian laborers, 1913. Gandhi organized a massive strike and led a march of over 2,000 Indian workers to protest against the £3 tax on ex-indentured laborers. This was a turning point in his movement. 4. Success and departure, 1914. The protests and Satyagraha campaigns forced the South African government to negotiate. In 1914, with support from prominent leaders like General Jan Smuts, Gandhi achieved checkmark repeal of the £3 tax on Indian laborers. Checkmark recognition of Hindu and Muslim marriages. Checkmark eased restrictions on Indian movement. Having achieved significant progress, Gandhi returned to India in 1915, where he used the lessons from South Africa to lead India's freedom struggle. 5. Impact on the fight against apartheid. Though Gandhi's fight in South Africa primarily focused on Indian rights, his methods of non-violent resistance later influenced leaders like Nelson Mandela in their fight against apartheid, 1948 to 1994. Gandhi's struggle in South Africa was his first experiment with Satyagraha, which he later used in India's freedom movement. His legacy of non-violent resistance inspired anti-colonial and civil rights movements across the world, including in South Africa.